Give the floor. Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. Jeanine, take it away.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Can we hear me, Valerie? Uh,
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Sweet. And then screen looking good. Oh, you can totally see my notes there. Don't look. Okay. Screen's good too? Thumbs up? Awesome. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the introductions. Had to add some silly ones in there. I do love me some TikTok. What can I say? Um, But definitely good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming to our virtual school tennis and PE workshop. Thanks all for being here and sitting in this evening. I so appreciate your commitment to introducing your students to our sport and the greatest lifelong sport on the planet. Of course, I'm biased, but we'll leave it at that. And I just want to say, the USTA, we appreciate everything that our physical educators are doing to promote that healthy, active lifestyle with your students and with our youth. I know PE was my favorite class in school. I stand by that. And I definitely appreciate you all then, and I appreciate you all now. So thank you, thank you. Um, Before we dive in, can everyone please take a moment to scan the QR code on my slide here and just fill out our attendance sheet really quick. I'd love to get all of your emails now so I can forward you the slide deck later, which I'm sure I can do. And I'll forward you a bunch of the other information we'll talk about today. So I'll give that like maybe a minute or two. I would so appreciate it. Hope you don't miss anyone. And then maybe towards the end as well, I'll go back to this slide in case anyone missed it. So you can scan that QR code. I should have had music playing, maybe. I don't know. Um, and then if you're running issues, running into issues with the QR code and filling it out, let me know or stay behind towards the end and we can help you get that QR code filled out. All right. Give it another like 10 seconds here. Okay, hopefully you were able to scan it and fill it out, no problems. But again, just let me know at the end and let's get started. All right. Okay, so let's take a quick dive into who we are, who USTA Mid-Atlantic is. We are the United States Tennis Association Mid-Atlantic Foundation. I know it's a mouthful, so we go by USTA Mid-Atlantic for short. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization committed to promoting tennis and its physical, social, and emotional health benefits. The United States Tennis Association in its entirety is the governing body of tennis in the United States. If you look at our map really quick, you'll see that we're actually made of 17 sections across the country. I've highlighted the best section, Mid-Atlantic, right here. We actually oversee Virginia, DC, West Virginia, and Maryland. So we're one of the 17 sections. Fun facts, I have to add this in here. Last year, we actually celebrated our 100th birthday of growing tennis in the Mid-Atlantic, and we are still going strong. And that's all thanks to folks like yourselves and our providers for keeping us going. And of course, our players, the youth, our kids. And for 39 of those years, starting back in 1985, the USTA schools tennis program was born. With the help of physical educators and Shape America, we've been able to introduce hundreds and thousands of kids to our sport. So we've been doing it for quite a while. Maybe I think this year's our 40th. I don't know, I can't do math, but hey, we've been doing it for quite a while. Um, and some of you may have also heard of Net Generation. That's one of our other programs through schools. But in case you haven't heard it, Net Generation is actually USTA's youth brand, and it is a one-stop shop for all things youth tennis. Now, Net Generation's primary goal, of course, is, we want to empower our communities and our youth by getting more players playing the game, and getting them to play more often. And of course, our focus is on the grassroots level player. The player is kind of at the bottom of this pyramid here, and we encourage them to rise up. So we focus on our grassroots kids and adults. And of course, we empower our communities and youth by providing a safe and fun learning environment for children. And we always want to encourage them to challenge themselves through Net Generation. And of course, we also help providers and educators alike with the coaching curricula. So that way everyone all feels confident teaching our sport. And of course, if you're confident, then your students are confident. So we want to absolutely empower everyone. And we do this all under the single brand of tennis. So very, very big deal. If you are curious and want to learn more, you can go to our site. It's netgeneration.com. And then no matter what level your students are, or maybe if you want to introduce your own kids to our sport, whether they're a beginner or tournament player, you'll be able to learn more about engaging youth with tennis. Just a quick note about sharing these slides. I've linked a lot of the websites and resources throughout the presentation just to make it super easy for y'all to access our online materials. I've got the netgeneration.com linked here as well. So when you get the slides, feel free to click around and definitely explore. All right, so now that you know a little bit about us, let's move forward and explore some ways that you can play a role in involving your students in tennis with the help of our free resources. Right? I said free. That's right. So through our school partnership program, you can actually receive free tennis equipment, a nice equipment kit, and you'll also gain access to our K through 12 curriculum and lesson plans. There's a misconception that there's like some sort of catch. There's no catch, there's no strings attached, just because USTA's goal overall is to level the playing field so that all students, all kinds of players have the opportunity to participate and play tennis. So all it takes to level the playing field is 3 easy steps. First, you want to register your school on USTA.com. I believe I clicked this. Oh, maybe you can't see it. Okay, I just tried clicking the link. I thought you all will be able to see it, but it's all good. We'll move forward. This link is actually our registration guide. It goes over all the steps you need to take in order to register your school and how to register your school. It involves creating a USTA account, and then from there, you'll automatically gain access to the curriculum so you can get a head start in checking that out and kind of reviewing it if you want. And then as well with your accounts, you'll be able to access our resource library, which I will touch more on in a bit. Second step, easy step, connect with one of our school partners for extra support. A school partner is mainly there to be your support system. I'll again go in more in depth about what a school partner or who a school partner is towards the end of our session. But they are basically there to support you in any way that you need, whether that's asking them a simple question about an activity, what will this activity look like with 30 kids? You can ask your school partner that, and hopefully they'll have an answer for you. And you can even ask your school partner to do like bigger tasks, like maybe come to the school and help run an after school program or run a single tennis unit for a day, things like that. So your school partner is definitely there just to be your support system and to be kind of an all things tennis resource for you. Um, I will help you with this school partner piece. We have a big list of resources and folks who are our school partners. A lot of these partners are our providers, our trusted providers. They're super knowledgeable in tennis, and they've been in the game for a while. So we'll definitely be in good hands with our partner. And then as the third step, super easy step. As soon as we connect you with your partner, I'll go ahead and let our USTA national headquarters know that you are ready to receive the equipment kit. That's where our fulfillment center is located. It's out in Florida. So when you register your school through our website, they'll be able to get the address for your school. And then from Florida to you, they'll send you the equipment and you can expect it in like 3 to 4 weeks. So pretty good turnaround time with that. And then you'll be good to go. For those of you that have participated in our program in the past, and of course, if you're just participating in it this year, I just want to let you know that you can actually receive a new kit every year if you register your school every year. You can renew your registration and then once a year, and then you can accumulate kits for all your PE teachers, and you can share it across grade levels. So that's one thing I definitely want to note. So I encourage you all to take advantage of that. Okay. Now, what does the kit actually include? So for elementary, we provide in the kit 21-inch rackets. And for middle school and high school, we provide 23-inch rackets. A little bit of a difference, but it goes a long way. We also provide you with, of course, some balls. You can't play tennis without balls. So you got 18 red felt balls and 18 foam balls. These kinds of balls are a lot softer than your traditional tennis ball, meaning they will bounce slower and they will bounce on most surfaces better than a regular tennis ball would, to kind of aid in, if you don't have tennis courts and you want the ball to bounce in a gym, these balls will definitely bounce in a gym. You'll also get 2 rolls of barrier tape, which you'll see kind of on the bottom right corner. I'll go over what ways we can use the barrier tape for in a bit. And you'll also get sidewalk chalk, and all of that will be wrapped pretty in a Net Generation roller bag, that big, nice yellow roller bag for y'all. And then as for the resources and the curriculum, so the Net Generation curriculum was co-created with Shape America. So you can trust that the lesson plans and activities are based on the Shape America national standards and that they ensure the correct grade level outcomes K through 12. And so have that there. And all of the handbooks and manuals are online, save in paper, but of course you can go ahead and print them out if you'd like to have them on a physical sheet of paper, right? And again, just a note, I have linked our resource library in this slide as well. The curriculums are going to be living in the resource library as well as other resources. Just as an example, some other resources includes the station signs. I mean, they're super useful if you're maybe concerned about maybe a little amount of space that you have or the little equipment that you have available. Station signs are, of course, always a good option to incorporate into your lessons. And we have those available for printout as well. So again, explore our resource library, check it out. There's a lot of other activities outside of K through 12 that we use that you can kind of get some inspiration from if you're looking for new activities for your classes. Awesome. All right. Whoa, okay, this is a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be. It's definitely in your face, it'll wake you up. Super pretty tennis ball color though. So now that we've gone over how to get your free goodies, your free lesson plans, let's go over how we can put those goodies to use, and let's dive into our curriculum, right? Let's tennis. Let's do it. All right, so we're gonna go over our workshop session objectives. We've only got 3 of them, and I'm confident that we can hit all 3 today. Firstly, we're gonna discover how we can adapt any space for tennis using student-friendly, ability-appropriate equipment. I know for majority of schools, in my experience and from what I've seen, you might not have access to tennis facilities and tennis courts. But of course, tennis doesn't have to be played on tennis courts. So we're gonna go over a few ways how we can get creative and almost DIY your own courts and your own nets to kind of fit those non-traditional tennis spaces, okay? Our second objective, we're going to learn some class management techniques and cues that you can use in any physical activity setting. These cues are very common tennis teaching cues that even I learned when I was a kid, and I can confirm they're pretty effective. So we're going to go over a lot of those. And then for our third objective, of course, our goal is to have you all feel more comfortable and confident teaching basic tennis skills. Okay, so again, I think we can hit all 3 of them. I believe in us. I definitely want to challenge this group, to use your imagination for the remainder of this session. Pretend you're in this beautiful photo of me with me. This was actually taken at a PD last year in Baltimore. So pretend you're out there with me, with some of the next things that we're going to learn. You want to visualize in your head what these things might look like in your own gym space. And imagine maybe even how your own students will perform with each activity. So we're going to use our imagination, right? We're out here on a sunny, bright, warm day. Awesome. So setting up the activity area, we're going to start with our first objective. We're going to learn how we can adapt any space for tennis, right? So our sport can be played on any flat surface, such as a blacktop, playground, parking lot, of course, a clear, safe parking lot, a cafeteria, and of course, a gymnasium. In the image that you see that I've included here, I'm sure you've kind of taken note of this little makeshift net that this person is using. All I needed to make this net was 2 student chairs and that barrier tape that I mentioned that is included in your kit. I tied it to each chair, pulled it apart, and boom, you kind of got a makeshift net. You can make the net as long or as short as you want to fit however many students you want, right? So when you're making these courts and you're making these nets, definitely be creative and use the tools that you might already have. You can use like basketball posts on each end of the basketball court and tie the barrier tape across the entire basketball court. You can use painter's tape it on a wall. So let's say you have too many students on the actual courts playing with the nets, you can have the remainder of the students hitting against a wall, using that painter's tape, taping it, around the height of a tennis net and having them hit against the wall. Of course, you can use jump ropes, volleyball standards, throw down lines. The list pretty much goes on. So I encourage you all to get creative. The more creative, the better. All right, so that's our activity area. And then here's also, I just included a very basic diagram on what this could look like on a basketball court or blacktop. Of course, if you do have access to tennis courts, instead of putting, 2 students to one big court, we suggest that you break up the court into 4 mini courts. So imagine this middle line, this vertical middle line in the middle here, is your tennis net. Split that up to have 2 mini courts on each side of the net. So that way you'll have 4 mini courts and you could fit up to 16 players on one big tennis court. So definitely maximize your space and utilize the tools that you have. All right. So moving forward to some class management, you want to be sure that you establish your activity areas with cones in each corner to be sure that the students are safe and can be managed effectively. Again, for example, in each of these corners, you're going to put a cone, boom, boom, boom. And that is what we call our general space. Our general space is where all of the activities will be performed, right? And then that kind of leads me to the second bullet point. It's important to remind your students of their personal space. I know that handing equipment to your students for the first time, especially tennis rackets, can be maybe a bit intimidating. So you want to continuously remind them of their personal space so no one gets hit with rackets, and that no one runs into each other, right? And of course, you all know this, a good way to do personal space exercise is do the helicopter arms. You can use hula hoops or have them imagine that they're in their own little bubble so that they can visually define what personal space might look like. Of course, this might be more applicable to your younger students, maybe not so much with your secondary students, but of course, again, reminders never hurt. Activity cues. This is probably my favorite part of class management are our cues. They help reinforce movement and the form with your students within their general space. So you want to use activity cues to direct students to move throughout the activity area. Some examples of this are the when I say go. This is a classic one that I love to use. I find that students respond better to a when and what kind of commands. When this happens, you're going to do this. Some other examples of cues include the shake hands, hammer grip, little lowercase c, eyes high, opposite foot, and so many more. You're definitely going to be able to hear and see what these cues will look like in a little bit when we go over a few videos so that you can visualize and see how the cues are used. And then, of course, demonstration. Very, very important. As a teacher, you want to demonstrate with maybe a student's assistance, making sure that all the students can see what you're doing, and making sure that the student that assists you is capable of performing the activity so that they can see how it's done. And then lastly, but of course, most important, again, a safety talk. You want to discuss safety rules and consequences before allowing your student to use the equipment for the first time. You want to remind students to not swing the racket recklessly. We're not playing swords or like lightsabers. We're just using these as tennis rackets, right? Along with the safety talk, you want to review activity area boundaries. Again, anytime you're hitting a tennis ball or doing an activity, you're within the cones. If you got to go to the bathroom, we walk outside of the cones, right? We're not walking through another person playing tennis, just to be safe. As a kind of a suggestion, it's always helpful to come up with the safety rules and consequences as a class, as a whole. This empowers students to be responsible and empowers them to be accountable for safety. So those are very, very important things to do. And of course, as like a general note, I'm sure you all do an excellent job of this, but you always want to have positive communication with students, eliminating don't and the no language. And we're praising efforts rather than results. We want to catch students when they're doing things right, and just constantly be encouraging and be positive, right? And then last, we're going through a lot of cues. Last, we have some equipment management techniques and cues. Again, some educators and coaches alike, they might feel hesitant handing rackets to their students for the first time. So here are a few tips on ways to manage equipment handling with students. First, when you're obtaining the equipment, you want to make sure that the equipment is placed around your activity area to avoid congestion around equipment bins. So what this will look like, you'll see in the videos what this could look like, but the equipment should be spread out. You should have multiple piles of equipment so that students aren't on top of each other. I know they're excited. They want to get their rackets. They want to spread out supply bins around the perimeter of the cones, around the perimeter of the activity area, right? And then, of course, during instruction, when the students do get their equipment, when you're talking to them, you want to make sure that they're listening, they're actively listening. You want them to have their equipment on the ground. They're not holding the equipment, so they're not distracted. And then when they're listening to you, you want to make sure that they stand in athletic position, or ready position is what we call it. You already know it. It's feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, hands on the knees, and they're actively listening to you. And again, you'll get to see that in some of these videos as well. Another equipment management technique, hugging the racket. We do this through all ages. You're going to want to demonstrate, practice, and consistently show students how to hug your racket or lock it in is another cue that we use for older students. Again, you'll get to see that in a bit. This is a really good safety technique when you're only addressing students for a few seconds. So instead of having them just hold it regularly in their hand, they're hugging the racket so they're not tempted to swing it around, right? Again, grounding the racket, that's putting the racket and the ball on the ground in front of you. Students are in ready position, actively listening. And this is mostly used if you are talking to your students or addressing students for a longer period of time or during longer instruction. And this is also another good one for students who are distracted, even if they are hugging their rackets. Tell them to ground it. They won't touch it, right? Lastly, storing a ball. You should know this. Students should not chase balls out of their playing space. So if they're in the middle of an activity and a ball rolls onto their court, you want to instruct students to immediately stop what they're doing, get that ball, put it in their pocket, or put it back in the supply bin so it's out of the way. You don't want students stepping on balls or tripping on balls, right? And then if a ball is lost during an activity, if you're the one hitting and the ball rolls away, you want to instruct students to not chase after balls, or else they might run through other players that are playing. Again, you want to instruct them to just get another ball from the supply bin out of the way, so to be safe to the max, right? You never want to allow a ball or a racket to be in an area that might cause a safety issue. All right, so let's watch a video that I think exemplifies everything we've covered so far, from the activity area to class and equipment management cues. So I'm really hoping, of course, this video won't work. Love that.
For the X.
How is this going to work? I have the video up on my screen, but it's not showing up on your screen. Let's see, maybe Valerie can help me out with this. Sorry, y'all. This is my first time using Zoom, so this is a learning curve for me.
So is the video balance challenge?
Oh, you can see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, amazing. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know.
You're
The
welcome.
activity is balance challenge. So we're gonna watch this video, kind of take note of the cues that we just learned and some of the techniques that I just shared with you all, and keep your eyes and ears open.
Activity balance challenge. Each student will need one racket and one beanbag and will be spread out individually in the personal space.
All right, guys, so we're going to start getting into the rackets now. We're going to start using the tennis racket, moving around in our space. When I say go, I want you to get a tennis racket out of one of the bins of equipment. But listen, when we get the racket, we got to keep it safe. So what I'm going to ask you to do is hug the racket. Let me show you real quick. When you get the racket out, I want you to hug the racket. It can be like this. It can be like this. It doesn't matter which way, but we're going to hug it to keep it safe. After you get a racket, I want you to also get a wiggle ball. Get one racket, one wiggle ball, come back to me, and we're going to ground it. Grounding it just means we're going to put it on the ground. We're going to put the wiggle ball on top and give me your knees back. Got it? Girls, go. Boys, go. Hug that racket. Hug it, hug it, hug it. Look how you're doing it safely. I like that. Hug it safely. Come right back over here into our space. Hug that racket. Hug it, hug it, hug it. Let's get some personal space. Go ahead and ground it. Look at you hugging the racket. Fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you for doing that so safely. Fantastic. Okay. Now we're going to get into using the racket. When we hold a tennis racket, it's almost like you're going to shake somebody's hand. So when you pick up the racket, when I say go, it's like we're going in to shake their hand. Hey, nice to meet you. And this is how we'll hold the racket today. When we do this activity, we're going to have our racket in our handshake grip, but we're going to have our palm facing up. So when we start the activity, our palm is up, and we're going to keep the wiggle ball on the racket. We're going to stay in our general space. as we did earlier, but remember, we still got to keep our personal space, like we have a hula hoop around us, or we have our helicopter arms. While we're moving in our space, you want to try to keep the wiggle ball on top of the racket without letting the ball drop off. If it does, that's okay. Pick it up and we'll keep going. Just do your best. I'm going to call it different activities. I might ask you to go in a zigzag pathway. I might ask you to walk on your toes. I might ask you to skip. I might switch up the locomotor skills. So you just keep listening, keep your personal space, and keep the wiggle ball on top of the racket. Capiche? All right, show me that handshake grip. Let's keep our personal space, handshake grip, and then show me the palm up. Perfect. I like that. Deshaun, go ahead and put the ball on top. Here's what we're going to do first. Let's just practice walking in our space. Walking in our space, palm facing up. If the ball drops, the wiggle ball drops, just put it back on. Fantastic. Can we get up on our tippy toes? Can you tippy toe without letting it drop? Wow, fantastic. Nice. Keep that personal space, keeping it safe. Super. All right, let's start skipping. Let's start skipping. We got all of our space, keeping that palm up. Skip nice and easy. Can you skip in zigzag directions? Zigzag pathway. Let me see that zigzag pathway. Nice. Keep that personal space. If the ball drops, that's okay. Put it back. Let me see some zigzags. Keeping it safe. Keeping it safe. Fantastic. If the ball drops, that's okay. Just pick it up. Very nice. Can we slide? Show me some slide. Slide. Nice. Your palm is still up. Look at you. All right. Keeping personal space, keeping personal space. Fantastic. Make sure your palm is up. You got the wiggle ball on top. There we go. There we go. Can you change direction in the slide? Change direction. Keeping the, you can slow it down. That's okay. If the ball falls, put it back on. Anytime you get to a white line, change direction again. Another white line, change direction again. One hand, keep that handshake grip, change direction again. There we go. There we go. Let's do galloping. Ooh, keep our personal space. Keep it safe. Galloping. One foot is in the front. Fantastic. Keep your head up. Keeping that personal space. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. And freeze. Let's ground the equipment. Hands on your knees. Kiss your brain. Awesome.
Love that. Awesome. I love that kiss your brain part. I would definitely want to use that next time. But yeah, we definitely heard a few cues in there. Some that I've noticed, I'm sure you picked up, definitely the shake hands grip. Definitely, you know, she was continuously telling them to ground their racket when she was giving out instructions. And also throughout the activity, she was reminding them to find their personal space. So you also got to see what hugging the racket looked like there, what grounding the racket looked like there. And that activity in general, I like to use with my younger ones. It's a good one to show them so that they can practice active listening skills and listening for those cues and different movements. So that was an example of some of those equipment class management cues. Please don't play again. All right, there we go. All right, so some student management techniques. Moving on to student management. Making pairs and groups is definitely key in tennis. Even though we're traditionally an individual sport, we definitely want to emphasize collaboration and teamwork when we're teaching the sport, right? So the activities in the school tennis curricula were all designed to have students be self-guided or work in pairs or work in groups. And this also allows you the freedom, you know, if you want to roam around, monitor the progress of students as a whole. It also maximizes action and activity for all the students participating. They're all working together in that group, having fun, doing good stuff. All right, so why do you think it's important to mix groups and have students with different partners? It's to promote teamwork, again, with different people, opportunities to make friends. It helps prevent kids from feeling left out. You know, kids are going to have different skill levels. And of course, in everything that we do, there's always something to learn from people that, you know, might not play the same way as you or might not be the same skill, have the same skill set as you. There's always things to learn with a variety of people. and this helps mold athletes into being well-rounded, right? So definitely utilize groups and pairing within your teachings. Forming groups and pairs. I like to use the toe-to-toe method, and that's the method that we suggest is the best way to pair students up quickly. And also doing something we call the sound mixer helps form small groups quickly. A sound mixer is basically you have music playing, you have students running around, mixing it up together, making sure they're not just running in a circle, they're running all around their activity space. You say freeze, wherever they are, you say go toe to toe with someone next to you. Boom, the students are mixed up and they're in a pair, right? One hand up, one hand down is another one that I like to use often. It helps form two lines. You're going to see what that looks like, and again, a few of our other videos. But that kind of looks like, you know, if you are toe to toe with your partner, if you have longer hair, put your hand up. Usually that person with the hand up, the teacher will say, if your hand's up, okay, go get the equipment. You're the one responsible for doing that for your group. This also helps prevent a group of students getting equipment. Instead, you're only asking one student to grab equipment for your pair or your group to kind of, again, we want to keep in mind safety. And again, also mixing up the group is important. You know, while students are engaged in different movement activities, you can call out different commands to mix up the group. For example, you're the tallest person, tallest player, take a step to your left, shake hands with your new partner if they're in two lines kind of thing. I feel like you'll get to see a little bit more of that again in these videos that we'll go over in a bit. So again, pairs, making groups, definitely important. And you definitely want to incorporate that into your tennis units, all right? So now this is the exciting part. We're gonna go over a few K through 12 activities, skills activities and games that you can show to your students. And this is just to kind of help you get that visual. Again, reminding you to be keep your imagination going. Imagine your students doing these activities, and imagine us in our little workshop. Okay, so let's move forward with that. With each activity, we want to make sure that we have progressions and regressions, and of course, gameplay. I'm sure you know this already with your other sports in class, but same with the tennis unit. Sometimes you'll need to make adjustments on the fly, or you need to help students make adjustments to each activity in order to keep the students engaged, right? So why is it important that we do this? Why is it important that we progress and regress activities? It's important that students, you know, practice the basics. Sometimes if they're a high skill level, you need to take it down a notch and you go back to the basics, right? You want to progress and regress activities to adapt to all skill levels and abilities. Our curriculum is inclusive. So you want to make sure everyone's having a good time and that everyone can participate in each activity. It's also important to challenge your students with doing this. It engages your students. And of course, maybe regressing an activity could also give your students that confidence boost that they need in order to show them that they can do it and that they can be successful. And it'll give them that perceived competence of success. And again, empowering them to keep going, right? Common ways to adjust activities per skill level, which I'll go over. Simple example, rolling balls under the net versus hitting a ball over the net. If you find a student is having trouble hitting a ball over the net, you can have them go back and just roll it under the net, right? Have them just doing a floor activity. Primarily, we regress activities by we're just putting the racket down and we're just going to start tossing and catching. Again, we're taking away equipment, making it easier, we're regressing the activity, tossing and catching. Sometimes a person is one tossing and then another person is hitting. We do like hand-fed activities, so that way you can control how fast and where a ball is bouncing. Those are just a few quick examples at the top of my head, but of course you can be creative when you're doing this, when you're progressing and regressing each activity. Again, we want to make sure our students stay engaged. Speaking of keeping students engaged, why is it important to incorporate games within your curriculum? Same idea. We're keeping students engaged in a fun environment. It's good to do games because they can practice and apply what was learned, and they can cement those skills and techniques throughout those skills activities. Games are also good to promote competition, healthy competition and challenge, and provides opportunities to succeed. And again, when you're successful, you're more confident, right? And then of course with games, an easy way to promote teamwork, especially with those team games. Work together as a team to win, and everyone seems to enjoy it. So again, always incorporate games in your lessons. Okay, so we're gonna move forward with, we're gonna start with kindergarten and we're gonna go up to secondary. But this is the mirror challenge with beanbag and racket. For all of these activities, you'll see that I'll include a few cues to look out for, as well as just a few equipment notes, just so you can kind of gauge how much equipment you might need for this one activity. So we'll go ahead and watch a few of these videos.
For the activity Mirror Challenge with a beanbag and racket, students will be arranged in groups in the general space and need one racket and one beanbag per student.
All right, for the next one, we're gonna be doing kind of like a follow the leader game. When I say go, I want you to divide up into teams of 4. Go. Quickly, 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 quickly. Perfect. 4, 4, 4, 4. One more person. Let's go. One more person. Thank you for doing that so quickly. All right. Stay together. Look at me. Here's how the game is going to work. The person that is the leader gets to choose any kind of activity that you want to do. I'm going to be the first leader so I can show you how to do it. First, everybody in this group get one racket and come back. Let's hug the racket. Keep it safe. Come right back. Hug it, hug it, hug it. Oh, and one wiggle ball. Thank you. And come back to the line. All right, hugging the racket. Thank you for keeping it safe. Hugging the racket right here behind me. Perfect. One line, one line. Well, because I'm going to turn around. One line, one line, one line, one line, one line, one line, one line. Hugging the racket, hugging the racket, hugging the racket. All right, girls, you watching so you know what to do? All right, you're going to do whatever the leader does. When the whistle blows, the person that's at the front of the line goes to the back of the line, and the next person will be the new leader. When you're the leader, you can do any kind of activity that you choose. Sure, we'll go for it. All right, so I get to be the first leader. Let's start with this. We're going to start with our racket like this, and we're going to start sliding. I'm going to switch. Switch again. I go to the back. We got a new leader. Ooh, ooh, nice. Okay, we got to do what he's doing. Don't have a ball. Okay, keep going. Very nice. Keep leading. Keep leading. Whatever he does, you got to be watching. Keep that personal space. Keep that personal space. He goes to the back. We got a new leader. Girls, you get it? And freeze right there, boys. Stay in your same order. Girls, hug one racket, come back in a wiggle ball. Boys, let's start a fresh line right here. On this white line, please. Who is my leader now? Okay. Whoever was next. Whoever's next in line. Same order. Okay, stay here. All right, come on, girls. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hugging the racket. Hugging the racket. Sorry. Hugging the racket in your line. So you guys know your order. You're going to be first, second, third, fourth. All right. Okay, leaders. You can do whatever you want when the whistle blows. Step to the back of the line. Are we ready? Yes. Go. Go. Whatever the leader is doing. New leader. Following the person in front of you. Following the person in front of you. Let's keep it safe. New leader. There you go. Ooh, look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keeping it safe. Watching where we're going. Doing what the leader does. I like how you're challenging each other. Same order, same order. New leader, new leader. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. Doing what the leader does. Whoa, whoa, boys, what happened to our line? Keeping it together, keeping it together. And freeze. Ground the equipment. Hands on your knees. All right.
Awesome. With that one, I also forgot to mention that sometimes regressing an activity could look like using different kinds of equipment. If a student can't seem to balance a ball on their racket, you can use bean bags, koosh balls. You can have them toss with koosh balls instead of balls. So you can use different kinds of equipment as well. So that was another kindergarten activity mirror challenge with beanbag. All right. Now moving on to a first and second grade activity. This one is walk the dog. Again, we've got teaching cues here. Some of the teaching cues that I did list here, the teacher in the video does not always use, but these are also just kind of suggested cues that I put in there to kind of help streamline your instructions. Right, so again, you want to be using cues consistently. Notice how the teacher is using these cues every few minutes, every few seconds, to kind of remind those students of their personal space and things like that.
For the activity Walk the Dog Relay, students will need one target, one racket, and one ball per pair, and will be partnered together in the general space.
All right, team, when I say go, I want you to partner with somebody that has the same hair color as you do. Go. Quickly, quickly, quickly. All right, very good. Now, I want you to play rock, paper, scissors, shoot one time. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot one time. If you have a tie, you can play again. Perfect. All right, when I say go, I want the person that won rock, paper, scissors, shoot to get one racket. Remember, you're going to hug the racket and one tennis ball. And you're going to stand on this black line. The person that did not win rock, paper, scissors, shoot is going to get a target. The target is the round circle, and you're going to stand on this white line. If you won rock, paper, scissors, shoot, go. Remember, you hug the racket, get one tennis ball, and stand on the black line. If you did not win rock, paper, scissors, shoot, you're going to get one target on this white line. Go. I like how you're hugging the racket, keeping it safe. Very nice. You're on the black line there. Fantastic. You can spread out some. You can spread out some. Target people are on this side. Fantastic. And line up across from your partner. Super. Great job. You're still hugging the racket one, keeping it safe. Perfect. Just go ahead and drop that target on the white line. Fantastic. Can I borrow your equipment, please? All right, for this activity, here's what we're going to do. Thank you for hugging the racket. You can ground a racket while I talk. That's super safe. Thank you. What we're going to do for this activity, when I say go, the first person is going to have the tennis ball on the ground. You're going to hold the racket using that handshake grip that we had before. You're going to keep the edge of the racket on. We're going to aim to go to the target. So I'm going to just gently push the ball all the way to the target. When I get to the target, I want to splat it or stop it on the target. Then I'm going to get my body reassociated to the side and bring it all the way back. When I get back, I'm going to stop, give my partner the equipment, and they're going to take their turn. So you guys go ahead behind. And the first person, you can go. Remember, at the edge, using your dominant hand. It's more to the edge, sweetie. The edge of the racket. Yup, splat, and then come all the way back. Yeah, keep it in your dominant hand. We're not going to switch it up. Same dominant hand. You're just going to move your body to the other side. Spread out some. Look, I moved your target. Boys, let's come down here some so we got a little more space, Juan. Good. I like how you put your body back to the other side. Remember the edge of the racket, guys. The edge of the racket. Edge of the racket. That's how we're using that handshake grip. Oh, that's it, dude. And then splat it right on the target. Oh, that looks fantastic. Very nice. Yep, that's it. That's it. Come back to the other side. Fantastic. Keep going back and forth. We're going to use the edge. Oh, we're going to use, you right-handed? Are you right-handed? Okay, we're going to hold the racket. Give me that handshake grip. That's it. Now put the edge with the ball. Come back to the ball. Get low, and we're going to use, that's it. You're doing it. That's fantastic. Perfect. All right, come on back. Stop on the black line. I'm sorry. Very good. Let's ground the equipment real quick. Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to do a competition. We're going to see which partners can do the competition the fastest. Let's decide how many times we're going to go. Will you roll the dice for me one time? Go ahead. Throw it right out here. One. I think we got to do more than one, right? Let's Let's do one more roll of the dice. 3. So we'll go 3 times. How many times? 3. If you finish first, I want to hear "We rock." What do you say if you finish first? We rock. 3 times. We rock. Then you can high five your partner. Hold on. How many times do we go? 3. 3. Ready? Go. Boom. And back. Good. Keep that good form. Keep that good form. Oh, I love it. Oh, easy, easy. We're not switching hands. Dominant hand. Dominant hand. Yes. Give a high five to your partner. Say, "You rock." Nice. Ground the equipment. Hands on your knees. Awesome.
You rock. We rock. Love that. Again, the teacher uses great cues in that one. Side edge is a new one that we didn't get to go over. Using the side edge of your racket stays on the ground as you're walking your dogs. The splat cue, or the splat cue is also a new one that's introduced in this activity. And then she's continuously using the shake hands grip cue as well, to kind of keep those students in the know of how to hold their tennis rackets. At the beginning there, you also notice that in order to split the 2 groups into 2 different lines, she used the rock, paper, scissors, kind of one hand up, one hand down technique, where the winner had their hand up and they're the ones in charge of getting equipment. And the people who won the rock, paper, scissors all stand on one line. The people that lost stand on the other line. Boom, you've separated the group into 2 with that. So that's a good example of the one hand up, one hand down. And again, with using pairs and groups in each activities, this is a good example. If there's more students than equipment, the students hand off the racket instead of each student having a racket. So that way you can have all students engaged in pairs if you find that you're short on equipment. All right, now 3rd and 4th grade. This is ice cream cones with partner. Again, we're introducing a few more teaching cues. We've got the underhand toss. Stepping forward with your opposite foot is another important one. We've got eyes high. When you're doing the activity, you're not looking down. You keep your eyes high because the balls are bouncing high, right? Got the one bounce. And again, we're going toe to toe whenever we are pairing up in partners and groups. And then we've got our equipment here. Again, we're not even using tennis rackets for this one. We're using just a ball and 2 cones, which I'm sure you all have. So this is another good one if you find that you might be short on equipment.
For the activity ice cream cones with partner, each student will be partnered up in the general space and need 2 cones and 1 ball per pair.
All right, this is what I would like for this group to do. Everybody on this white line, take 1 step that way so that you're going to be partners with the next person. Except you, sweetie, come all the way down here. Just step to the next person. That's going to be, just step down, Joshua, to the next person. That's going to be, you stay. This is going to be your new partner for the next one. All right. Let's have, when I say go, the people on the white line, you're going to get 2
All right, everyone. Good evening. While Janine joins us again, please take this time to grab water or whatever you need while she sets up her presentation one more time.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened there. Let's try that again. I think my Wi-Fi just gave up on me. It's been a long day, I think. Here we go. How do I move this bar? Okay. We're getting set back up. Pulling this down here. All right. I think we barely got to start that one, so we're gonna start that one again.
For the per pair.
All right, this is what I would like for this group to do. Everybody on this white line, take one step that way so that you're going to be partners with the next person. Except you, sweetie, come all the way down here. Just step to the next person. That's going to be, just step down, Joshua, to the next person. That's going to be, you stay. This is going to be your new partner for the next one. All right. Let's have, when I say go, the people on the white line, you're going to get 2 of the cones on this side and go back across from your partner. Go. 2 and then come back. You can give 1 to your partner and then back on the white line. Just 2. Come on back. Give 1 to your partner and back on your white line. Wait, your partner shifted. That's okay. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. All right, here's what we're going to do now. Can I borrow your equipment, please? You can hold that. Yeah, thank you. All right, here's what we'll do for this one. You're going to toss the ball about eye level to your partner. Now, I'm aiming for about a foot in front of my partner so that the ball can bounce 1 time, and then she's going to try to catch it into the cone like an ice cream cone. All right, so I'm on the black line. I'm going to toss underhand so it bounces once. Hold on, let's let it bounce 1 time. Let me try it again. I threw it too far. All right, so we're going to try to let it bounce 1 time. She's going to try to catch it in the ice cream cone. Perfect. Awesome job. Now she's going to go ahead. You can toss it back. Now, remember when we're tossing, we're going to try to step with our opposite foot. We're still tossing the ball eye level, but when I'm ready, I let it go bounce 1 time and into the ice cream cone. Go ahead, 1 more. Remember, eye level, bounce it 1 time, have your partner catch it. Ready? Go. You're welcome. Toss, let it bounce 1 time. Remember, a foot in front of your partner. About a foot in front of your partner. There we go. Eye level. Eye level. Oh, nice, guys, over there. Good job. Eye level. Good adjustment, Deshaun, letting it bounce 1 time. 1 time. Boom. Nice. There it is. There it is. I like how you're stepping with that opposite foot. Great job. Good underhand tossing. Good underhand toss. Into the ice cream cone. Beautiful. Nice. Eye level. Eye level. There it is. All right, let me try to challenge you a little bit. Try doing it with your non-dominant hand, your weaker hand. Try that same toss underhand. Still going eye level. Now you're going to step with the other foot. Nice. Great job. Eye level, a little higher, a little higher. That's it. Good job, girls. There you go. Nice. Very nice. 1 bounce and in the, oh, nice. In the cone. Great job. Perfect. And freeze. All right, let's make this one into a competition. When I say go, we are going to work as a team to see the first group that can get up to. Can you roll this 1 time? Can you roll this 1 time? Math people, to 8. You have to get 8 catches in your ice cream cone working together. First group that gets 8, I want you to shout out tennis as loud as you can. Ready? Go. Nice. 1 toss. You can shout it out. I don't mind. There we are. Working together. Good job. Underhand toss. Woo! Tennis, awesome. And go ahead and ground the equipment. Hands on your knees.
All right, that was ice cream cones with partner. Another one of my faves. I like the visual of the ice cream cone and the ball is the ice cream. Another progression that I noticed in that one was instead of using your dominant hand, she asked the players to use their non-dominant hand. That's a good way of challenging your players and progressing an activity. And I also noticed that she's doing a great job of praising the students throughout the lesson. Again, encouraging students and giving them that positive reinforcement. And then lastly, you kind of see that she went from a skills activity and made it into a game by making it a race to see who can be the fastest to get to 8 tosses and catches, right? So all of these activities, again, with walking the dog, you can make that into a game, make things into a race to see who can get to the designated number first. So that was a good example of that one. All right, moving up grades, 5th and 6th grade. This one is a doubles mini tennis activity. In this one, as you see that we're progressing through the grades, we're introducing more equipment as we progressed further, right? So now we're introducing a tennis racket. I believe in this one, we're playing on a tennis court, introducing bounces. We're not just tossing and catching now. So let's see what that looks like. Again, we're introducing some new cues, including the little C. The little C is a good cue, a good visual for what a racket swing could look like. You can even do this at home, practice your little lowercase c with your hand. Boom, that's what a racket swing is going to look like. Right, so good visual there.
For the activity doubles mini tennis, each student will be partnered up in the general space and need 2 rackets, 1 ball, and boundaries per pair.
Okay, now we're gonna play doubles over the barrier. So the person that you're standing next to right now is your partner. All right, we can go ahead and we'll start. Whoever has the ball right now, you'll be the first server for this round. After you serve a point, then we'll switch back and the other side will get a chance to serve. Okay, go ahead. If you have the equipment, go ahead and pick it up. Person with the ball, you will serve first. And go. Remember, it's got to go over the net. If it doesn't go over the net, it's a point for the other team. There we go. Okay, hold on. It cannot be the person next to you. Stop, stop, stop. Start over. There we go. Got to go over the net. It's still got to come from underneath. Okay. No, no. Guys, same rule as before when we were tossing it. Got to come from below. Yes, right. Hey, girls, excellent job over here. Here we go. No volleys at all.
All right, so that was a quick example of the doubles mini tennis. And that one, she actually doesn't say little c. She goes, she says from below, which is low to high. So again, same thing with your lowercase c. You're going from low to high with your swing. So cues like that, I think using them consistently, super, super important. It gets your students following instructions right away with one simple cue. All right, and then let's look at some secondary activities really quick. These ones are a little bit shorter, I think. This one's overhead serves, juggle and send. Again, with secondary students, the gameplay and the skills activities are more on court, involving rackets and bounces over a net. Again, we've got some teaching cues. You'll notice I went from shake hands grip to hammer grip. Again, with your older students, sometimes you want to change the language a bit. Maybe hammer grip is a little bit more appropriate, less kiddie, if you want to say that. Instead of using lowercase c, you can actually use the low to high cue with them. And again, we have high to low when you're serving, stepping forward with the opposite foot, things like that. So let's go and look at what this looks like.
Juggle and send. Students are in pairs. One student starts with an overhand serve. The partner lets the ball bounce bumps into him or herself, then hits it back. Repeat the same sequence. Play to 10, switching serves every 2 points.
All right, that is the juggle and send. That one actually, you got to see what breaking up one big tennis court looks like and turning them into mini courts. Again, you can make one big court into 4 mini courts, utilize that court space, and get as many kids on the court as you can. All right, zooming through. Really, this is one of our, maybe one of our last ones, maybe second to last. This is another secondary activity. What's your record? Teacher's choice. Let's go take a look and see what this activity looks like.
What's your record? Teacher's choice. Students are in pairs across the net from each other, with 1 racket each and 1 ball between. Good job. The teacher determines the number of rallies the group must get using only a forehand or only a back.
All right, that's good. Big thing.
All right, so with that one again, she mentioned that the teacher is determining how many rallies a student should get. You can put on some boundaries with that and have students only use forehands or only use backhands to kind of add a little bit of a challenge to the rally. Again, this is another game, a good race to see how many times in a row you can rally with your partner. First one to get to that teacher's choice number wins the game. And that is the one for what's your record? Teacher's choice. Right, that's a great
What's your
secondary activity. Another one, we got team singles. Again, we are putting together all of our cues, putting all together the lessons and skill sets that the students have learned in their skills activities, big C's, lowercase C's, opposite foot, hammer grip. You know the drill. All right, let's take a look.
What's your record? Teacher's choice.
Oh,
Students are in pairs across the net from each other, with 1 racket.
We actually just watched that video. Team singles, it is kind of, I'll just explain what it is. It is, what do you think it is? Each student, kind of similar to what's your record, is set up with a pair of students across the net from each other, and you're playing as a team in order to get to the designated number of points that the teacher determines. This is another good one. Any team game is good, where you can only have 1 racket per team and they could switch off rackets every point. So that way, again, if you don't have enough equipment, you can use, put them into groups and have them share the equipment that way. And this is another good one for promoting that teamwork and team play. Sorry about that video.
What?
I must have gotten that wrong. All right. Well, that was all of our videos. Let's move forward. We'll wrap it up, get some Q&A going. Hopefully with all those videos, you got to see, what these activities could look like in your own classes. Again, tennis is all about progressions and regressions. So even with those secondary activities, you can always regress it to cater to your younger students with different skill levels, right? You guys are great at making adjustments on the fly. So I know those progressions and regressions will come naturally to you. All right, so before we get into the questions, I wanted to also note, we have a Net Generation app. You can download it through the Apple Store and I believe the Android store. Sorry, I'm an Apple user. But with the Net Generation app, you can actually access that K-12 curriculum within the app, as well as create lesson plans within the app and have the lesson plans at your fingertips. So I invite you all to go explore that when you get the chance. Definitely go ahead and download it and take a good look. Use it if you want or not. Up to you. All good. And circling back, coming full circle, connecting with a school partner. Again, it's important after you register your school that you reach out to me, so that way I can connect you to your school partner We're going to match you with a local school partner. Typically, again, because I know some of the partners like to visit the schools in person, we want the partners to be pretty local, around an hour away from your school. So that way, if you did want to connect in person, it wouldn't be too much of a trip, right? A lot of our partners are community tennis associations, parks and rec organizations, and they could even be local tennis clubs, local tennis coaches. Again, all of these folks are very, very knowledgeable in our sport and are going to be a great resource for you. So I encourage you to take advantage of that for sure and reach out with them. If you do want a partner to come in person to your class, just want to let you know that all of our partners are Safe Play approved. Safe Play approved is USTA's athlete safeguarding program. We want to make sure that all of our partners and providers are trained when working with minors, so they're all in the clear there. They get approved every year. If you want to learn more about it, of course, I've linked some FAQs and more information in this slide if you want to take a look at that. And that should be everything. I realized like throughout this entire session, I did not give a chance for you all to ask questions. So now would be a great time if you've got questions for me or questions later. I'd be happy to answer them. Give it to me. If you got it.
Good evening, Jimmy. Good evening.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Hey. No question, just positive feedback. I think a lot of the different drills we saw were excellent in regards to teaching kids how to volley, how to use an underhand lob, how to track a ball, especially with the ice cream drill. The follow the leader gave them opportunity to do some differentiation, to do some different challenges. I like the wiggle animals. I think that would give them an opportunity to work the wrists so they could really condition it for that forearm smash or their backhand because they get used to, that twisting that's going to strengthen the wrists. And then the different footwork we saw when they were changing leaders. Like I even saw this one episode where the guy, I think kid did a karaoke, crossed his legs, his feet, I should say, which was good for, conditioning and so forth. This is going to, I'm familiar with the program because when I was working in DC, it was something similar that I got to do. And this is a lifetime activity. So this is going to really work with some of the kids, and the fact that we're in an area where you, I don't know if you're old enough to know who this person was. John Lucas was an All-America at Maryland in basketball and tennis. And he also, helped a lot of NBA players, when they have difficulties with substance abuse. So, it's a lot to be said about this area, and then with the University of Maryland, Georgetown, American University, and all, Towson, all these universities around, they would give our students an opportunity to journey further, because we're a basketball, football, baseball, but tennis is something designed where a person doesn't have to be super tall or a certain body type, because a lot of our kids, they look at us like, well, everything comes to us easier because we're bigger. No, we've just had more practice.
Yeah, no, thanks for pointing out all of those awesome things. Tennis definitely, kept me out of trouble, kept my friends out of trouble. It's a lifelong sport. To be out of trouble for your entire life and just, hit the courts, it's a great thing to have and carry with you. And also thanks for pointing out all those good pointers throughout each activity, kind of echoing what you said. There's a lot of different activities to introduce your students to, and you can shake it up, mix it up, make it your own, to keep your students engaged. So I'm really glad to hear that you're already familiar with the program and that you're wanting to start it back up again. So we're definitely going to be here for you, and I'll be a resource if you have any questions for me. Let me know. But I'm excited to see what you all do.
Oh, also, this being an Olympic year, that gives them an opportunity to see some of our American athletes in action in Paris. And
Absolutely.
wondering, are they going to play tennis on clay? Are they going to play it on asphalt? How are they going to do this in Paris?
I don't know. I actually am wondering the same thing. I hope it's on clay. I like a good clay court. Um, it's also US Open season soon. US Open starts in August. I believe Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised, Francis TFO. He's playing the US Open. He's playing actually all the Grand Slams. He's doing great. If you don't know him, he's Mid-Atlantic's championed player. And he's definitely representing our region amazingly. So tune in if you get a chance.
There was a question about what's next after they set up. I think you reviewed it, but if you don't mind reviewing it one more time,
Yes, can you repeat that
someone sent me a
again?
message.
What's next after the registration process?
Yes, how's it work assigning a partner and getting equipment?
Yeah, so in the registration guide, you'll go over all the steps to register your account, of course. At the bottom of that registration guide, the last step is to actually reach out to me once you've completed your registration. My email is linked in that guide, which you all will receive. The reason I ask that you email me is because sometimes if I reach out to the schools first, my email sometimes lands in the junk drawer. So it is helpful if the schools reach out to me first, so that way the system knows that we trust each other and that we're all good. So after you email me, I will confirm your registration in our database to make sure you did everything correctly. And then from there, I'll go take a look at my list of school partners around your area and see which is going to be the best match for you. And I will connect you both via email so that you get to meet them, e-meet them, I'll say virtually. And then you'll have their contact information there as well. So that's how we're going to connect you to your partner. And then after that, we will let our national team know that this is going to be your partner, and they will confirm your registration in the back end as well, and they'll send over your equipment. I hope that helped answer your question. Let me know if it didn't. I can totally explain again.
Something else I also realized, this is going to help us with our long-handled objectives in our curriculum, because like in the past, we've only had to use hockey sticks, and then our kids, they like badminton, and they keep thinking they're playing. Some of them are confused, saying, "We're playing tennis." No, you're playing badminton. Tennis requires a heavier racket and a ball, as opposed to a shuttlecock.
Right. There's a difference. And there's also, I mean, with pickleball in the mix.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
they
those
like that.
two.
But I think they'll like the density of the ball, and I think being able to show them that this allows them to track the ball easier off the bounce. And I think it will build their confidence. And then when they transition into high school, where the ball is going to be a tennis ball, where it's going to, travel a little faster, I think the experience of tracking the ball is going to help them. Because some of the kids, like when I was their age, I mean, I can hit the ball. But my issue was hitting it within the line, in the serving line. I would just like Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore, just whoosh, send the ball sail.
Right. Right, totally. Yes, these balls will definitely are entry level kind of balls. Hopefully that won't be happening. You can hit these balls as hard as you can and they won't travel too much. And they're definitely easier to track, slower bounce. So I'm glad you're introducing these modified equipment to your students that kind of help them through their tennis journey. Love that.
So Jeanine, it sounds like your lower level, primary level balls then could be also used for adapted physical education inclusion classes then.
Yes, absolutely. In our curriculum, we've included adaptive and wheelchair kind of pages in there. And I think we also have an adaptive curriculum available as well, using the same equipment, same activities, but just modified a bit. And so with this modified equipment, I mean, this is an all-inclusive sport. Of course, we see like pro wheelchair players, para-standing players, in Special Olympics, we play tennis with them too. So everyone's welcome to play our sport, which is my favorite thing about it. Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
So we at Shape Maryland appreciate our partnership with USTA and having you with us this evening to provide a PD opportunity to all of the Maryland educators across the state. Thank you so much, Jeanine, for putting this together. For all of those of you that are still with us, thank you for your attendance this evening and taking the opportunity to be a part of this PD. If you could please fill out the form, the link is in the chat box. It is associated to the participation certificate that you will receive in your email before you exit today. If you have any further questions for Jeanine, please go ahead and take this time to do so. We have 9 minutes remaining. Thank you again for your attendance. Don't forget to complete the form. And thank you, Jeanine, for being our wonderful host for the evening. We love and appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I totally appreciate you all as well. Thanks for this continued partnership. Gonna keep it going strong. We're gonna have everyone playing tennis soon. I also have on my screen. Am I still sharing my screen, or maybe I'm not?
Yes, it's there.
Yes. Okay. In addition to Valerie's attendance sheet, if you haven't gotten to scan my QR code, I've got that there up too. But other than that, yeah, thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your evenings.
So I went ahead, Jeanine, and took advantage